Tom, I like the sounds of a Libations Friday in the fall. Just the sound. I'm talking about the legitimate sounds. That's not the sound of the phrase, but rather the sounds. We have talked before about an energy that exists in Tallahassee, Florida when the team's good, when things are going well. In particular, I always like it if, you have all the schools doing well. Florida State's doing well. Florida A&M's doing well. TCC's doing well. High schools are doing well. It just kind of flows together nicely. The community feels enriched and a buzz with energy. It's always exciting. But back to Florida State for a second. When they're good, it just sounds better. Everybody's a little bit perkier on a Friday anyhow, but they're perkiest when the team's good. And that kind of translates to radios are a little louder. People are whistling in the stores. There's just a feel in the air. I experienced that this morning getting a cup of Joe.
Well, there's anticipation.
Yeah,
the fact that,
right.
The kickoff is tomorrow at 8 p.m. It's hard. It's hard in those situations to wait all day. I like it, just from our workflow.
Gives you a slight respite, yeah.
We've got a pregame at 7, but that means that the 12 o'clock window is ours, and much of the 3 o'clock window is all ours because it's a road game, and we're here. Corey and Ira are up at NC State. So that part is good, but, when you get to about the end of the first quarter of Red River tomorrow, or is it Tennessee? LSU's also a noon kick. I think it is. But you get to the end of the first quarter of those games, and you say, damn it, come on, let's go. Let's be a part of this. And you've got to wait another 6-7 hours.
Yeah, it is. It can be tough because we're excited about a lot of games. Oklahoma, Texas is at noon, Tom. I care deeply about that. Those two teams are a mess. It's, as you said, Tennessee and LSU is at noon. That's good for Tennessee that if you're going to travel to Baton Rouge, you're doing so at noon and not 8 o'clock. LSU transform sometimes into something else entirely at 8 o'clock at night.
11 local time, so they're going to be bleary-eyed for the first little while.
Yeah. And Tennessee, by the way, is a team that starts better than most in the country. They do a lot of their scoring in the first quarter, and they jump on teams. And so that might be a little window into a mindset of bettors, first half, that kind of stuff. With Tennessee, they've been very, very – I researched some numbers recently on them. They are phenomenal in the first half. Hendon Hooker is just straight up right now, perhaps a Heisman favorite. If you look, he's throwing over 17 of his passes at least 20 yards downfield. He's completing 72% of his passes at over 14 yards per clip. He's good.
Well, the thing was earlier in his career at Tennessee after the transfer, there were situations where they schemed guys up that are open and
couldn't hit him.
There's nobody around him for 20, 25 yards, and he just would miss these players.
He's not missing them.
He's not missing them anymore. Those yards were there. Now he's starting to get them.
70% of the time. I mean,
it works every time.
It's an alarming rate. By the way, the fellow 7:30, 8 o'clock window that we talk about is Texas A&M and Alabama. We will be locked in on Florida State. There may be a side TV, a little side eye over there at that other game. Not during the watch along.
No, I just mean for me personally.
Yeah, no.
Nah.
Oh, I will, because I've got money on it. But yeah, so I will. You have a 3:30 in which I never thought I'd see the day that Auburn would be, as we go into this game now, a 30-point underdog in an SEC game. Sweet Jesus. Ryan Harsin might as well just say, come on, you want to fire me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get to the firing.
That's part of it. And I think also they're circling Georgia being pissed off for looking ahead. I mean, well, they're not looking ahead to Auburn from Mizzou, but whatever the hell that performance was, I'm sure practice wasn't pleasant in Athens this week.
Yeah, probably so. They're not, interestingly enough, they haven't been getting good quarterback play at Georgia the last couple of weeks. So that's interesting. There is a side note there tonight, that night, by the way, second half late after our game ends. You may get a little bit on the Pac-12 network of that Oregon-Arizona game. Also Washington State, USC. I'm talking about the night window now, what we have. It's always disrupted, obviously, if your game is the night game as well. But just some side notes of interesting games to be played. For Florida State, it's an opportunity to go up to Raleigh and get a win against a team that you struggle to play up there. And also just in terms of the matchup, I think is a bit of a struggle. You did a great job this week. This is your best one. Third and Lang, this is your best one.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I think so.
Thanks.
Yeah, this was a good one, buddy. On warchant.com, folks should go read that article. Third and Lang. NC State presents fundamental challenges for FSU football. If you're looking for it, click on that article and read it. And also, I thought you did a good job of grabbing the clips to illustrate the point. I know you usually do, but they gave you some good ones this week. This is
when you get the Skycast, and we'll get that.
Helps a lot.
That's advance notice, folks. If you're watching at home next week for FSU and Clemson, it's ABC. So you can go to watchespn.com and go get the Skycast, which gives you a much better perspective.
Much better perspective, because you can always, a lot of times you can see the safety, and the safety play. Yep. And that's the whole key, because you're looking at what the quarterback's looking at, and you can have a better idea. You won't completely know what his first read is on a play, for example, but you'll understand a little bit more about why he goes where or where he should have gone based on the looks. You get the entirety of that. That's what coaches, when you get the all 22s, you hear analysts talk about that all the time, that it's awfully tough on television to know for certain where he should have gone with the ball or what he should have been reading. And then you see the all 22s and you go, oh, well, yeah, man, the safety walked down. This is pretty evident here. This is a pass. There's all of that, but it's kind of fun. And you did a good job with it this week. I think more than that, it's that you realize in watching those videos, just if that offensive line is not in sync, if they don't have a good grasp of who's doing what and why, you could be in real trouble here, because NC State runs it well. They do a good job with their defense. It's a unique defense in the 3-3-5. You don't always see it, but man, it leads to some big tackles for loss.
Yeah, the thing is, it also leads to big plays if you can establish the jab with whatever that's going to be. And so you might want to tamp down your anger in the first quarter, folks. If we take some 2nd and 11s and 2nd and 12s, it might be
setting it up.
It might be for the greater good.
Well, they could be setting up that quarterback run to keep, that you highlight there, because or the flow.
They do overflow. And look, we harp on our linebackers, and especially after you get through the second guy in the 2 deep, and say, why are you in the wrong gap? Why are your eyes in the wrong place? NC State's guys' eyes are in the wrong place at the second level enough. They're there enough in the wrong spot that there are plays to be had. It's just that you've got to establish what it is your base is, counter against it, and hope that they are not better coached this week than they were against Clemson, because you're going to hit some big plays if so.
I should have had the courage of my conviction yesterday on the program. Hey, Noel Kev, how are you? Dave Dorn always looks sad to me, poor fella. Like, sad and rich, and he's got a team that's been pretty good the last couple of years. I think he's all right. Just a look he has on his face. Thanks for the contribution. Good to be with you guys in the chat as well. I just now looked over there. If I missed anybody else, let me know, please.
Doran did something interesting in his press conference on Monday, that it's kind of loser blood talk. So when he was talking about the margin of the game, he boiled it down to, well, it's only a 10-point game. If you look at the final score, it's a 10-point game. And if you look at this play and that play, we make those two, then that's easily going to make up for the margin. It wasn't a 10-point game, though. They got it to 10 in garbage time.
Correct.
Clemson had that thing on lock with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter at 31-13 or 30-13.
I think it was Clemson never really felt threatened in this game.
No, and that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that a coach does when things aren't operating at peak and he doesn't like what he sees. He's looking for the moral victory and things, and I thought that was an interesting statement.
Well, he's got a lot to look at for the season so far where he could be slightly disappointed. I mean, I'm sure he thought they were loaded for bear this year, given I think the trajectory read for them to have a good chance to win the Atlantic and compete for the ACC title this year going into the season. If you couple the amount of experienced players, snaps, experienced quarterback, and success to build confidence going into this season, you really felt like NC State was the team in this division that could take out Clemson or potentially take out Clemson. Certainly,
it's a if not now when kind of deal with how it lined up.
Well, and they beat him a year ago in double overtime, as it were, and all that. But this felt like more of it would be like, okay, we are going to legit beat you.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Clemson specifically. I'm saying the Atlantic, the ACC, and maybe a playoff berth. Right. If you're ever going to do it, this is it. With the trenches, your experience there, the quarterback play, you lose a couple receivers, but this is it, man. You've got a quarterback who's 35-3 or 35-5 last year.
35-5, yeah.
Yeah, touchdown interception ratio.
Yeah, so it didn't happen, and they've kind of sputtered and then fits and starts. It's been strange for them, and I think he's probably really frustrated trying to find the answer. They all are on offense. Let's hope that we don't give them the tools to do it. It would be upsetting. When you look at us right now, I would like to believe that Florida State is in no way shook by the loss, but rather angered. I mean, I don't think they should feel, like NC State, we're talking about something in the system that is off, where they're looking around kind of what is happening. Why are we not moving the ball the way we did a year ago? And for Florida State, you're 4-1. You lost the game against a very veteran squad with a very good quarterback, well-coached team, came in here and beat you, and they won the line of scrimmage. I talked about losing the line of scrimmage. Makes it awfully tough to win football games, and you found a way to win the first 4 despite having some of those problems that existed. These just expose those problems to a greater extent. You'd like not to see that 2 weeks in a row. Could happen. Could be, you are an underdog. If you go lose the game, it's not shocking. You are an underdog to go play there at night against a team that had a much better season than you did a year ago, and I think, frankly, is a probably as good, if not better, team. So, that's you can't get down on yourself here. You got to correct the mistakes, go play a football game, and hopefully take advantage of the question marks that are surrounding NC State here. And I think you can do it with the quarterback. I really believe this is a Jordan Travis game. All games are heavily dependent on the quarterback playing well. No matter the system you run, the quarterback touches the ball on every play and almost every play. And certainly he's going to have to play a good game if the team's going to win. That's Georgia, that's Alabama, it's whatever. There's greater margins for errors based on how much talent you have around them, of course, and what your offensive principles are. But the quarterback's got to play well. Well, you got a guy who has played well. He had his worst game last week, but it still wasn't terrible. I think Jordan Travis's floor has raised immensely, meaning when he plays poorly now, you're still in a position to win a football game. I mean, he's not going to have the kind of game where you're like, geez, you can't win with that. I mean, I don't think he's going to have those kinds of games. At least I hope not, knock on wood. And I also think that his best can straight up win a game. When he's right and he's making plays and he plays like he did against LSU, or you see those moments in time where the decisions are, the game is in hand. He's got to make a guy miss, got to keep his eyes down the field, make a big play. He's done a lot of that to the point where I trust him now that he could go win a game like this. I'm going to need him to be able to run, because I have a suspicion that there are going to be some guys coming free. The delayed blitz is something that NC State uses. They're very good at disguising. NC State will flood. They'll do things that I think at times may confuse our offensive line. If that happens, then I need Jordan Travis to make a man miss. Because as you pointed out, in reference again to the Third and Lang piece you did, and I was glad, this is funny. I read it after the fact, and then when I saw it, I was like, that's my boy. Because when I watched the NC State game, or I watched the Clemson NC State game again, I was sitting there thinking, my God, they got touchdowns here, here, and here. If he either sees it, doesn't miss it, and or makes one guy miss on an initial blitz, because they're willing to take the risk that we're going to get there and you won't get it off. But that's what Jordan Travis is deadly, because I can make you miss if I'm Jordan in a phone booth, and now you've left the tight end wide open. You've left a crosser, Micah Pittman, wide open. That could be a house call because you're running the risk with pressure. Jordan could have a huge game, both with his feet and his arm here. This could be a game that on Monday, we're talking all about the plays that Jordan Travis made, that were winning plays, that were difference makers, that changed the game.
Yeah, understanding that sack yardage is tacked off against the total rushing for an individual player, quarterback in this case, obviously. With that said, what do you think Jordan Travis' high rushing total is for this season in a game, one game?
Oh, it's not high. Less than, 40?
Yeah, 31 yards.
Okay, so yeah.
40. 8 carries, again, a sack or two's in there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
31 yards against LSU.
Yeah.
The other games, Louisville was cut short 10 yards. BC didn't need to. 16 against Wake, 2 yards.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, he hasn't had
last year he broke 100 yards at least twice, and then he was up over 60 or 70 at many other occasions. If not now, when for this one?
I'm talking about now is the time. Yes.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Well, these next two games,
this 2-week sequence here, because then you get the bye and Georgia Tech to run some other stuff and then get ready to go for Miami. But damn it, man, it's got to be now. That's part of the allure, and I don't think there's a subtext to this, but if there was, I would say that's part of the allure of your draft stock. If you're trying to get paid, it's that you can move and you can run. It's not only about the fact that you can throw, which you're way better at this year, and there are some downright awesome throws. That first touchdown last week to Micah Pittman is an absurdly good throw in the red zone.
Yeah,
that window is so tight. But you have got to be able to run the football, too. It's got to be a part of your repertoire, and this is it, man.
And as much as I have complimented Jordan Travis this year for the growth that he has shown in his overall game, and I have credited him for the hard work that he's put in, the patience that he has. Technically, he's a better passer too, by the way. I haven't brought that up a lot, but if you look at the way he executes throws now, it's much better form. All of these things, his footwork is better. Everything is better about Jordan Travis. But I'm never going to mistake him for being an elite pocket passer consistently. Like, if I have to say that we get into a game where Jordan Travis can't use his legs at all, and he just has to throw from the pocket and throw from that platform and beat you by hitting small window throws forever and a day, well, he's going to have good days and bad days. He's not going to be wildly consistent there.
But he is capable of doing it now where he was not before. The evidence is out
That's
there.
why I've praised him. But you don't want that to be the only trick in the bag because you have this other thing. You're an elite runner. Most pocket passers that are capable of consistently stringing together pinpoint accuracy type games to win from the pocket cannot do what Jordan Travis does with his feet. So for me, Jordan just had to get a lot better at being an accurate thrower from the pocket, and he's done that. Marry it with your feet, man, and you become special. So this is a game where if he's healthy, and again, I don't know that. I don't know how healthy he is. He didn't look like a guy that could really turn it loose in the run game last week because he had a couple of opportunities and either chose not to run or when he did, he didn't even look as mobile as he did the week before, which was surprising to me.
And that's the hard part about handicapping a game like this, because if you're a defensive coordinator, you're prepping for DJ differently than you're prepping for Jordan Travis. So they might not be as aggressive because they know if one guy misses, things are in trouble. With DJ, it might be a 20-yard run. If they've got nobody behind a blitzer, 20 yards, 25 yards,
45 to 50 yards. It could be a house call.
It could be a house call.
Yeah, you saw the North Carolina game a year ago. Like, it's just like he takes off. You're like, oh, well, goodbye. And he makes the one guy miss and look like an ass, and then it's just peace. Yes, that could happen here. That could happen here with the way NC State plays defense and how aggressive they are. And I'm hoping that happens. It needs to happen. That'll cool your jets for a second there. If you're a defensive-minded club and you have a game plan, and this guy bastardizes that within minutes because he makes that first guy miss. Yes.
In general, too, this is the time to run those plays. Even if you don't want to establish something out the gate, to use as a counter later in the game. If you run one play and you run one option of one RPO or whatever, read option 7 times so far this season on film, this is the game to break out the other version, the other option in that play. NC State wants to get downhill and make tackles. That's the other thing where you can use the night atmosphere against them. A defense is going to
they'll be hyped beyond reason.
The decibel levels being what they are, they want to go make that play, get you off the field with a 3-and-out or a turnover the first drive. Use it against him. Mike is very adept at doing that, though. I'm not thinking that he won't be prepared to do that.
I made the good decision to go to bed early last night. I made the bad decision to not trust my instinct and bet the under of those two garbage teams. And so I'm mad at myself a little bit. But what I'm more happy about is, we've had a good time at Russell Wilson's expense the last couple of years because of the bizarro world he finds himself in and the fake-ass image he continues to portray. And it gets exposed again last night in addition to his horrific play. But to see a dude like KJ Hamler just decide to show up his quarterback and fire his helmet off the ground and kind of treat him like a second-class quarterback in that league is amazing. And then to hear some of the comments, you're like, it's all unraveling. It's pretty funny to watch. I mean, Cortland Sutton did that to him a couple weeks ago, and I was watching, and I was like, man, that doesn't ever happen to, like, say, Aaron Rodgers. Like, a receiver could run and be wide-ass open, and Aaron Rodgers misses him or doesn't see him or overthrows him or whatever. They're not going to show up their quarterback like that. It would never happen to Tom Brady. It didn't happen to Peyton Manning. It doesn't happen to guys that are Hall of Fame players that are making $300 million because they're respected by those other players. Even if they don't want to hang out with them, they respect them.
Well, and there's also that's a two-way street. Like, yes, Tyreek Hill would never do that to Mahomes or Kelsey to Mahomes, but Deshaun Jackson did that to Matthew Stafford, and they said, the hell with you. You're gone.
Yeah.
We'll win a title without you.
Yeah, goodbye.
And they were right.
Yeah, so those kinds of things are hilarious, right, when you see that. So that tells you there's so much more going on than just how poorly he's playing. They hate his ass.
Yo, Russ, you know how much space I had on that play? Unlimited.
And then he had the nerve to do the let's ride in the post game. You're like, what are you doing, you clown show? What? You are a mess. That disingenuous nonsense. You better play at a Hall of Fame level if you're doing that. You can't play like that and be a clown. Then you got Texas A&M fans calling in death threats. I mean, that is a weird.
That was a weird call. That guy was
That's a spooky call. That would, hey man, what are we doing here?
Working up the gusto to say it at the end too. He's like, he made a choice. He's like, am I going to say this? I'm going to say it.
Well, for those that missed it, on the ridiculous redneck extravaganza that is Paul Feinbaum's nonsense, a fan called in and said that basically it's cheaper to hire a hitman than it is to pay Jimbo's buyout. To say that tensions are boiling over. The situation at Texas A&M is an understatement. Florida State's full schedule for basketball has been updated with tip times and TV coverage. I'll touch on it very briefly on our Libations Friday. Chef Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry bucks to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186.
Every day, Sellers makes life a little better for homeowners, helping them find the best design ideas for their homes with the best quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring. Even mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions are at their fingertips in their remarkable showroom. Maybe it's time for you to get the Sellers Advantage for your home or office. Find them on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com. For style, quality, and design, get the Sellers Advantage. In Tallahassee, call 656-8453.
Imagine for a moment that you are completely weightless with zero gravity. All of your worries and stress melt away. Your mind stops racing and you fall into a profound state of pure relaxation. This is available to you right now at Tallulah Delta 8 Plus Floating in Railroad Square for just $50. These state-of-the-art floating pods are unlike anything else you've ever experienced, and while you're there, you can shop for some of the latest and greatest CBD and Delta 8 products on the market. Natural pain management, stress relief, and better sleep are all at your fingertips at Tallulah. Tell them Jeff Cameron sent you and thank me later. Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hey guys, it's Greg Tish. I know it's still warm outside, but Hearth and Patio wants to remind you that the cooler temperatures are coming. They will be here shortly. Now is the time to get those fireplaces inspected, get those fireplaces upgraded, or get a new fireplace for inside or for out. Or how about a wonderful fire pit to have out in your backyard where you can enjoy the cooler temperatures when they finally do get here. And yes, they will get here. Call my friends at Hearth and Patio today, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282. Have them come out, inspect your fireplace, tell you about the upgrades, tell you about all the amazing ways that Hearth and Patio can make you feel comfortable when the cooler temperatures finally get here. That number again, Hearth and Patio, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282, or online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth and Patio, they keep the home fires burning.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orangetheory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orangetheory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orangetheory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orangetheory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cash Show, brought to you by Orangetheory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
games for this weekend. Tampa Bay and Cleveland underway there. It's weird. I feel like a little kid again. Back in my youth, Tom, we used to watch playoff baseball in the middle of the afternoon. You had playoff games that were not always immediately thrown on at 8 o'clock at night. You could just tune into a baseball game when you came home from school. It was the best.
Like pennant series games,
yeah,
and World Series
big,
games.
Well, I don't want necessarily World Series games to be played in the middle of the afternoon, admittedly.
I'm just saying that's what you experienced.
I did. Yeah, that did exist. It was a weird thing.
52, 53.
No, stop it. Stop it. No. Yeah, in fact, if you go back when I was 8 years old and the Pirates won the World Series against the Orioles, there's a game when you look at the highlights of that series, it was a great series, 7-game series. But when you go back, the field is in shambles. You look at it like where Baltimore played, there's mud halfway into the outfield. It's all ripped to shreds. Like they didn't manicure these things the way they do now. It looks like you look at the footage of that, you're like, are they playing like at the local Y, like right outside that little field there for Little League? It's crazy. Other than it's big, it's funny. All right, let's get to Lee Sterling. Paramount Sports joins us every week at this time. Hello, Lee. How are you, brother?
I'm good. You know what? You left out one thing. You left out. You said you went home and you watched afternoon baseball.
Yeah.
You left out that you skipped school to watch afternoon.
Occasionally, yes. If there was a big enough game, I did. Yeah, yeah, and it was fun to do so. Right? You felt like you were getting away with something. Yeah,
loved it. I mean, did you fight with your dad always about having to go to bed at halftime?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, here's what's cool. Like when I got old enough, and he could see how passionate I was about sports, there'd be certain games that he knew they were big that you had to watch. So he would give me this look in front of my mom, kind of like, because I had a TV in my room, and he'd be like, go to bed. And then he'd kind of wink at me like, go ahead. Yeah, he'd know I was going to watch the game. Yeah, which was cool, which I always appreciated.
Home run, 2-run homer, Clifton.
There it is. I'm not even watching. Got it on in the background. Alabama's giving a huge number to an absolutely dysfunctional unit in Texas A&M who's now got more injuries to add upon the woes of whatever's going on in that locker room. Would you give 24 to Texas A&M?
I wouldn't. So here's what happens on Sunday nights. Well, Sunday afternoons, about 5 o'clock. I sit down, and as I'm watching games,
you wait for Circa to drop the lines.
Yep. I estimate what I think the line should be, and then what it is. So I thought it should be about 15.5, 16. And I said it's going to be 20.5, 21. They made it 24, and it hasn't budged. So Bryce Young is 75, 80%. And A&M last year, before this game, they had scored only 10 and 22 points against the same two teams, Arkansas and Mississippi State, before they erupted for 41. You know what? I think we might see a total shock, and Connor Wegman ends up playing some. I don't know whether they put him in and he rotates or for a few plays. I think he's got something up his sleeve, does Jimbo here. He's backed in a corner, and he's got nothing to lose here. And their defense, people talk about, Alabama. A&M's athletes on defense right there with Alabama's. And, they've been recruiting the same kids and getting the same type level kids the last couple of years. And DJ Durkin, the defensive coordinator, was at Ole Miss. He knows all the concepts. He just now has better athletes at A&M here. I think Alabama's good, but this is not one of their top 5 teams of all time. Alabama wins 34-20, but I'm not playing this game just based on blind revenge.
I'm kind of torn on this situation as well. There's a part of me, I'm not going to play the game, Lee. I'm in agreement with you. Okay. But one thing I would tell you, I just don't know. Short of what you described with stuff up the sleeve, I don't think with the injuries that Texas A&M can score. And that's why I worry about it. Like, I could see this being 27-0.
Could be.
I mean, just where you're like, well, like,
I think Jimbo's going to have them ready. They could turn the ball over 4 or 5 times.
Right.
Strange stuff could happen, but I think they're going to come to play, especially on defense.
Is North Carolina a live dog against your Canes at 3.5? Because I think they are.
Okay, I think they're begging you to play North Carolina.
I think they are too.
Okay, and I've been pretty right on. I've gone against Miami the last couple games. I went back and watched North Carolina's game against Notre Dame. Their defense is horrendous.
Awful.
So I was grading guys, and I graded their players in that game. Only one kid came out in the top half in college football in his position. And the kid's name is Cameron Kelly. I don't know if you remember him. He was at Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Transferred there last year. Their linebackers, they list him at like 215, 220. I think they're like 205. What happens when you're light, you have to take a chance as a linebacker. You can't
take on blocks, right?
Yeah, so you're going to say, oh, I'm going to take a shot that he goes this way, the running back. And it's creating some huge holes for running backs. If Miami's smart, and they're not on the level, their offensive line, as far as being with Notre Dame, they run the ball, and also tight ends have a lot of success against North Carolina, and that's where Miami is strong. I think that their quarterback is incredible. I think he's really good.
Oh, May is a real good player, yeah.
But I'm going to say Miami pulls off the shocker here, 34-30.
Well, yeah, I guess it's a shocker. I mean, they are favored.
Yeah. If you lose, the shocker to win. So. And I think, you know what, it's going to boost attendance. They're going to go from 18 to 24.
By the way, out of nowhere, Missouri had every right to be in that game with Georgia. That wasn't a fluke. They played well. They looked good. They're not good. I don't know how that came from, but they played well. Does Florida cover 10.5? I don't know what to think of this game.
Okay, so they gave A-plus efforts the last.
They did.
They should have beaten Auburn. I mean, literally inches away in the.
He's walking in the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, craziest bounces. They can't get a break to save their lives. How about this? Florida's 0-8 against the spread. The last 8 is a favorite here. But they do have revenge for the loss last year, 24-23, when they were in shambles here. Missouri has trouble against quarterbacks that can run the football. And I think with Florida getting back a couple of their backup quarterbacks here, they're able to play now, they're healthy enough. I think they're going to take some chances with them. I like Florida, 41-17.
NC State began on a Sunday from Circa as a 5-point favorite. It quickly went down to 3.5. I'm kind of surprised by that because Florida State has still not had their best defensive tackle back since the LSU game in Fabian Lovett. It finally got exposed. They couldn't blow up that mesh last week, and obviously Hartman had time to throw the ball. What do you think of this game? It's a weird game. Florida State doesn't typically play well up there, but I do think this is a tougher Florida State team than in years past. I'm interested in your take on this game.
Okay, so when I watched the Clemson game again twice, and who do you think the two worst players are on their offense? North Carolina State.
Well, I've been really surprised that Leary's been bad up to this point, but he was so good a year ago, I had high expectations. I know you're not going to say him, but who?
No. 2 offensive tackles.
Okay, well, that's fair.
Okay, go back and watch the game from last week. They got beaten up. And also their offensive line, and it's obviously partially because Clemson's really good on the defensive line. They've got some studs there. As the game went on, they just couldn't hold them out. So if you guys can get some kind of rush from the outside, I think you're going to do some damage. Leary might be one of these guys that makes a roster and has a really bad senior year. I think he might be a better pro quarterback than college quarterback. So they just also don't have many guys that are next level guys that can make plays.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem here also. And I think Jordan Travis is going to be able to navigate here. I just don't think North Carolina State has those guys. They used to have, an edge rusher, a great linebacker, a great cornerback. They just don't have many guys that are great on the defense that scare you. I'm calling for the upset. Wrong team favorite. Florida State 30-26.
Oh, music to my ears, at least for now. I hope you're right. All right, so the Bucks are a bit of a mess in the sense that I don't know where Vita Vea has gone. People will just run right at the Bucks. They're a big favorite for an Atlanta team that plays hard. You like 8.5? Would you give that?
Maybe it's Dayton Giselle, right?
Yeah, it's an ugly situation. Yeah,
I don't know. Here's what's crazy. Tom Brady is amazing at blocking out the noise. I mean, you got to give the guy credit. I mean, at 45 years old, where someone like Russell Wilson washed at 33.
Yeah.
So I told people I was watching him even a couple years ago after he came back from injury. I thought maybe he wasn't studying enough, but Tom Brady is amazing. This defense that got stung for 41, they are really good at stripping the ball. And Cordell Patterson is out. And what does that mean? Well, Tyler Algier is going to step in and get most of the carries. He had a fumbling habit at BYU. And the linebackers and the DBs for Tampa Bay strip the ball. If you can find that as far as fumbles for Atlanta, play the over here. I like Tampa Bay, 37-17.
Good. Game of the week, Tennessee on the road against LSU. Tennessee has gotten off to a great start. In the first half of games, they are electric. How can folks get this game, given 3.5 here?
Just call 800-400-9741. First 10 callers, I'm going to give them this huge game, Tennessee and LSU, for free. 800-400-9741. Even though I lost Denver last night, and it was painful, we are 32-13 the last 4 weeks. You want to hop on board? It's not October. We call it Locktober. Everything $297 through October 31st. You want the baseball playoffs? We have 40 more wins and losses this year. $97. You can get that. Already winning the Cleveland game there. And how about hockey? Hockey last year #1 in the world. The whole season $797 through June 2023 in the Stanley Cup. Works out to less than $100 a month. Everything's up and available. Love to have you come on board. ParamountSports.com.
Always a pleasure, Lee. Be well, brother.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
Take care. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. That's fun every week. Tom and I are going to introduce a new segment on the show on Mondays. So get ready for this Monday, in which we decide to crown the happiest Power 5 fan base and the saddest Power 5 fan base as it pertains to the weekend's events. It's going to happen on Monday. We're going to have a cheesy sounder. Maybe even I'll go cheesy announcer voice. We'll have something. We'll have to do this, Tom. It'll be good. I'm looking forward to it. It makes sense. I like these little fixed position things where we can look forward to something, because we had to get rid of Hell to the Gnaw.
Yeah, we did. Copyright. He actually, the late preacher, Reverend.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah. He, I know one of our listeners would call him and say, "You should hear this segment. They use your music. It's great."
Oh, don't do that, guys.
Yeah, I know.
You're telling on us.
Well, and it was a great segment, and it had its run. But A&M has a chance, if this thing goes chalk, to be in the saddest category. If Alabama just decides to lay the absolute wood to Jimbo, then they would be the saddest. That Colt would be wondering about maybe spiking some punch.
That Colt is exactly an apt description. It is terribly troubling. Every time you catch a video from there, you're like, look at these people. It's like the folks out in Idaho. Yeah, you're like, this is a little
that yell thing, and they're
Mhm.
ragging on Appy State for being backwoodsy. I'm like, still self-awareness here? Are we a little aware of our surroundings?
Oh man, yeah, it gets weird in a hurry. We'll see. Hey, what do you think? He liked Florida State to win this weekend. Doesn't make it so, but it's fun. And I
when he said the two players, I thought left tackle and then whoever their other receiver outside of Thayer Thomas is. But yeah, that checks out. It's just that it's hard to know if that's Clemson's defensive line.
I was about to say,
versus,
lots of problems for teams facing Clemson defenders. Now, no such problems for Wake Forest offense, which, again, there's no shame in giving up 31 points to that offense. I don't like it. But I thought we had to win a shootout last week, and the offense didn't come to play.
Well, one of the things about that, and you could see a video after the show's over today, Dominic Robinson breaking down third down defense for Florida State. It's really good. You see how often Florida State is either in position to make a play or Wake has really good receivers that are going to make plays.
They did.
A combination of those two things. NC State isn't littered with those guys. They got one of them. And they've got maybe a decent receiver on the edge, but it's nothing like what Wake brought to the table in terms of dudes being able to make one-on-one plays.
Yeah, the problem is Devin Carter is a big receiver. He's their second receiver. I think that's who you're referencing.
Yeah.
And he's 6'3", he's thick, and he can make our DBs get bullied. I mean, they do. And we've seen it in one-on-one situations where they're in position. The coverage isn't the problem. They just don't get – I mean, you know what I would say if we were on the roof. Just how I would describe that. And it really
We're being dismissed.
Yes, summarily. And it's very disappointing when that happens, because at some point there is a real physical element to this game. I'm going to need you to take part of that. Let's give as much as we're going to get. You're not always going to win, but you can't always lose in those matchups. And that's something that has kind of plagued us now for a few years. I'm really looking forward to a very physical corner who understands how to play that way.
Yeah, I think Azaria could be that player a little
Sam
bit.
McCall will be that guy.
Sam McCall is more physical than Azaria. Azaria's just smoother and more hip pocket, but he can learn. That can be taught. That athleticism can't be taught from 20.
Gonna need that. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The family of a Tallahassee man missing in McCullough County is searching for answers. 48-year-old Sean Reddish was last seen August 31st on surveillance camera inside Rocky's gas station in Crawfordville. His vehicle was found abandoned 2 days later just a few miles away off Spring Creek Highway. Multiple searches of the area by foot and air have turned up nothing. Reddish's family said he loved to take pictures of nature and had just moved to Tallahassee a couple of months ago. He was working at the automotive repair shop Voltec. Sean is 6'2" and weighs about 200 pounds. He is balding and walks a little hunched over. Anyone with information or who thinks they may have seen Sean Reddish is asked to call the Leon County Sheriff's Office at 850-606-5800. Envision Credit Union is asking you to help kids stay warm this winter. Envision's Coats for Kids campaign is underway and running all month long, and they are calling for donations of new children's coats of any size. Collections are happening at all Envision Credit Unions and participating libraries through the end of October. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MaclemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Mainly sunny skies and calm this afternoon with a high of 87. Northerly winds around 5 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies and quiet again tonight. Lows dip down to about 61. High of 87 tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies. Sunny skies and calm Sunday with daytime highs approaching 85. 87 Monday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 82.
Whether you're looking to get back into an old sport or just want to spend more time outdoors to explore all life has to offer in our beautiful city, the dedicated team at Tallahassee Orthopedic Clinic is here for you every step of the way. Now, scheduling an appointment has never been easier. Just visit teamtoc.com and click schedule online.
Your next chance to win $1,000 is coming up at 3 p.m. Don't miss your chance to shake the 93.3 money tree and see what falls out. Planted by the law offices of Basic Brooks. Come back stronger with Basic Brooks.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true. But I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hey, Greg Tish here along with
Matty Rowe.
And you can listen to us Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Real Talk 93.3. Matt, we give away a couple things each week.
Just a few.
We've got the Florida Farm Bureau Insurance Wheel of Food. We have Give Me a Second, where we play a second of a song, and you guess that song. And we also play FLA or Nay. We have a lot of fun Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on
The Greg Tish Show.
Think that's enough?
We could talk about our feelings.
There's a lot.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. only on Real Talk 93.3. Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
The best of both worlds with a sampler platter. Don't forget the world-famous sauce, Zaxby's, satisfying your chicken craving. And by the way, you can always order online or in the app. Your Zaxby's, Tallahassee Zaxby's, a proud Golden Chief booster for 17 years. Go Noles.
We get some lunchtime Zaxby's tomorrow. I think that was the wise play.
Zaxby's.
Wise play.
Yeah. Just ease on into the schedule, the slate for the day.
Yeah, you don't want to go leave the abode just before the pregame show. You're getting in the flow of the day.
Yeah, no, you got to get that early.
Take care of your stuff in the morning, lunchtime at the latest if you have to, and then you're set.
I see you, Noel Kev. Does Jeff say they are kindly moving out of the receiver's way and taking themselves from the situation? No, I describe the assertiveness with which the receiver removes our defensive backs from the situation in such a manner that I cannot repeat here.
Yeah, there is one thing, and I hear you. There is a man-on-man element to coverage, and sometimes you just get summarily sent away.
Yeah, it can happen.
But then the problem with the Wake scheme that I have, I didn't want to do this on Monday or Wednesday because everybody's talking about they hold on every play. And Wake does hold. That's true. But when you're having to guard an RPO and you've got tight ends and receivers engaging in blocks at 5 and 6 yards depth, and you have to worry and honestly consider if you're a defensive back the run or a safety, that's BS, man. And that's part of the problem with the RPO game and how it's officiated at the collegiate level.
Correct.
Like, for example, on the 4th and 3, late in the game, fourth quarter, 4th and 3, you can find this on that video I mentioned earlier from D-Rob. You've got a bunch formation to the right, and then they've got a tight end lined up behind the right tackle. He releases and blocks while the ball's in the air at 5.5 yards depth.
So Saban addressed this years ago.
It's I mean, that's nonsense on a 4th and 3.
It is indefensible.
Correct.
So part of the problem, and I've talked about this, now we're getting into the fundamentals of the game, how it's played and how it's officiated. That offense, there's a reason you would never see it in the NFL, a couple reasons, but the way the game is officiated in the NFL, they will watch this Sunday, watch any NFL game. You see it all the time. It happens a lot on screens. They are really big on flagging illegal men downfield. It happens all the time in the National Football League because it is a huge disadvantage for a defense if you're going to allow linemen or anybody for that matter to go 3 and 4 yards down the field to block. There are keys being read by defenders that are run pass keys, and they know that inherently if you allow for anybody to go beyond the line of scrimmage at that point, and then and then you're able to throw the ball or run the ball, that you have a defender who you've put in conflict and you cannot win. The defender cannot win. Any decision he makes is wrong and is at a distinct disadvantage because of what they're allowing for in college. The rule is different. Fundamentally, it is a different rule in college. You can do it up to 3 yards downfield. And even then, they're terrible about calling it because when it gets to 4 to 5 yards, they still will not call it.
And we've gotten away with it too. So this is just the way the game is played.
Offensive coaches have figured out that these guys are blind to it. Whereas in the National Football League, they are locked in on it as a priority. Saban brought this up years ago when he was talking about tempo offenses and some of the things that are bad for the game in his mind and what defenses can and cannot do to help slow that down, or what they can do just from a standpoint of concepts, what they're able to do to try to stop these new modern offenses. And he said, well, first of all, we could officiate the game better by not allowing illegal men downfield all the time on these RPOs. And he's right, but they don't do it. And I've thought for a long time that if you're going to give defenses a chance to compete again, you're going to have to start enforcing that. And I would make it like the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. Just make it uniform. And that's actually
and call it.
It's better for the development of the players anyway when they get to the next level, those that can make it to the next level.
Right.
But this is an extension of that. You know, Wake Forest does a really good job by and large of not crossing over that threshold and being downfield.
Yeah, they do.
As weird as their offense is, they know they would get flagged for it more because they're doing something goofy. And so an official, I think, is more apt to throw a flag.
Got all damn day to find it too.
Right. But this is a group of receivers blocking downfield, and you're assuming, oh my God, it's a run, and they're doing so while the quarterback is in his motion to throw. It's just that has to be legislated out of the game as well. This is it. They're related talking points, but they're just a little bit different points of emphasis.
Yeah, it really bothers me. I see it every weekend. Every weekend I watch college football. I'm like, well, I almost said it. I'm like, well, that's BS. That's once again, that's BS. And then fans will get furious with their defense because they can't hold somebody under 24 points. I'm like, well, look, man, in the modern game, they won't allow you to hold somebody if their offense is any good at all. Now, I mean, there are incompetent offenses like Boston College's right now that aren't going to most days. They did last week, oddly enough.
That's an interesting game and an interesting number this weekend.
Well, I took Clemson and laid it because I got it at 20.5.
It's just Hafley has something for Dabo, typically. That's just a strange game, too, because that's a look-ahead spot for them. They're coming off of an emotional home win, then they're coming down to here. There's just a lot of weirdness in the air for that game. And it's a primetime kick, so they'll have at least 60% of the stands full.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a look ahead, and it's a weird sandwich and all that. But, man, physically sometimes if I can't block you,
I know.
Then we're done talking.
Well, this would be about maturity level for DJ because – they had trouble scoring 45 points on Furman, and then they played who was the team subsequent to that where it was 37-16. I mean, just kind of weird stuff going on with Clemson.
Yeah, it is. We'll see. I just have a hard time. I thought we overwhelmed them at the line of scrimmage, and I feel like Clemson ought to be able to overwhelm them at the line of scrimmage. Update: Cleveland leads Tampa Bay 2-1. They are in the 7th inning. Nobody on for Cleveland. So, two pitchers doing what we thought they might do in this game, which is dominate. It's been fun to watch.
That game's going to be over by the 2nd inning of Director Matthews' game.
I was just about to say it is 1:55. That game started at noon.
Yeah, 12:07.
Yeah, so they're gonna be done in like 2.5 hours, 2 hours 20 minutes. It's like,
hey, this is also the end of the non-pitch clock era, folks. Get ready for brisk baseball games next year. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, no, and games like this that are well played, well executed, and it's good for baseball. It is. It's very good for baseball. Didn't see it. Didn't have the stream up.
Just came in.
Thank you, Bill. Tight ends should have a big game blocking and receiving with their active linebackers. I would hope. I think you're right about that too, by the way.
Blocking, hopefully.
God, if Florida State wins, Jordan Travis is going to have a huge game, though. He really is. He's going to make plays down the field. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Let me tell you what T-Spark stands for. It stands for strength, commitment, teamwork, and heart. We don't ever quit until we've got nothing left to give. Our team is unstoppable. Want a guaranteed win? Call T-Spark Enterprises for your next roofing or construction project. We conquer all peaks. TSparkConstruction.com. License number CCC 1331204.
Hey, this is Greg Tish. Here's something you might know about me. I don't drink coffee. I have never had a cup of coffee in my life. Well, that is until now. So why change now? Well, it's because my dear friend at Grassroots Coffee reached out to me after hearing me say that and insisted that I give his product a try. I've been making a huge mistake. The world of coffee is fascinating. I always thought coffee is coffee, you know? No, it's not. I have tried their coffee and it is fantastic. Now, I've got a fascination with learning more about the best coffee in our area. Grassroots Coffee is locally roasted, locally owned, and locally loved. You can find whole bean Grassroots Coffee on the local aisle at Publix, also in Whole Foods. But the best way to get this black gold is to order it online. They literally grind the fresh roasted beans to your preferred level, bag it, write the date on it by hand so you know the exact day your coffee was roasted. It doesn't get any more fresh than that. Order yours now. Just go to grassrootscoffee.com and choose the coffee you want and how you want it. And join me. Let's step up our coffee game together and also support a great local business.
So let's say you're considering buying a new home in the current climate. All heard that demand is high, inventory is low. So how do you get a leg up on the rest of the buyers all making offers on the same house as you? Oh, that's a toughie. But the first place I'd suggest you start is with a call to my friend Shannon at Legendary Home Loans. Shannon will set you up with a complete pre-approval underwriting. It used to be an upgrade, but nowadays it's got to be standard. You want to get your offer on a new home pushed to the front of the line, you need a TBD full underwriting approval from Legendary Home Loans. You'll shorten or even remove your financing contingency, and the sellers will know that your offer is real and ready to go. It's tough out there these days, folks, so why not have the advantage of a proven winning team in your huddle? Get pre-approval underwriting from my friend Shannon with the one and only Legendary Home Loans. Call now, 844-FSU-LOAN, 844-FSU-LOAN, or just visit FSUHomeLoans.com. FSUHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 2270146.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Residents in Florida who evacuated because of Hurricane Ian go home to mud, rubble, and other devastation as the death toll from that storm passes 100.
Some residents of Florida's Barrier Island starting to return. Alan Bickford dealing with a thick layer of stinky muck covering the floors of his Pine Island home.
The outpouring of help is just amazing.
Joe Kutsko says it's just him and his elderly parents, so he's doing all the cleanup, and it's heartbreaking.
30 years of my life gone.
The National Alliance on Mental Illnesses, Beth Hatch, says the emotional toll is immense.
People don't really know where to begin, so we need that hand holding.
Temporary repairs to the causeway connecting Pine Island were done Wednesday. Fixing the Sanibel Island causeway could take until late October. I'm Julie Walker.
Meanwhile, Tropical Storm Julia has formed in the Caribbean Sea, triggering hurricane watches and warnings for Nicaragua and Columbia Islands. Julia had maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. Also at townhall.com, America's employers slowed their hiring in September, but still added 263,000 jobs.
September's jobless rate may mean the Federal Reserve's drive to cool the job market and ease inflation is starting to make progress. The government's report showed that last month's job growth was down from 315,000 in August and that the unemployment rate fell to 3.5%. Slower job growth would mean less pressure on employers to raise pay and pass those costs on to their customers.
Correspondent Jeremy House reporting. September's more moderate pace of hiring may be welcomed by the Fed, which is trying to restrain the economy enough to tame the worst inflation in 4 decades without causing a recession. Stocks sharply lower. The Dow is down nearly 600 points. More at townhall.com.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and worn out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, that timeshare was a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979.
Imagine for a moment that you are completely weightless with zero gravity. All of your worries and stress melt away. Your mind stops racing and you fall into a profound state of pure relaxation. This is available to you right now at Tallulah Delta 8 Plus Floating in Railroad Square for just $50. These state-of-the-art floating pods are unlike anything else you've ever experienced. And while you're there, you can shop for some of the latest and greatest CBD and Delta 8 products on the market. Natural pain management, stress relief, and better sleep are all at your fingertips at Tallulah. Tell them Jeff Cameron sent you and thank me later. We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orangetheory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orangetheory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orangetheory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orangetheory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orangetheory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, so hopefully we see the Mets win tonight. Tom, you'll be watching intently, but you got to wait all the way to 8 o'clock to do so.
We hit a woo for you, Marcus. Here's another one. Oh,
maybe not.
And it's just, yeah.
And
never mind.
Gone.
Who cares?
No woos for you. There it is.
Rick was sleeping. Come on, Rick, get up. We need you to do some reads for some male supplements.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. We're going to do something a little different to start the hour today on Libations Friday, and for good reason. Ordinarily, we wait a little bit here and ease on into the hour with our conversation, but this time around, we're going to get straight to it because, and this is weird to say on the air, but I don't mind. My mom has to go to a funeral. So she's like, well, we got to get our wagers in before I head to this funeral. Jeffrey, is there any time we could do this earlier? And this was the time that we could do this. We could go ahead and do it at the start of the hour. So it's a little non-traditional, but if you would, Tom, cue it up and we will get straight to it and I'll get you caught up on who's what. Hey, he's frozen again.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room! Mana, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
You want to try one more thing? You want to try just like we'll all gather and put it into one thing? You want to try AC/DC right here? See if that works?
Well, we would get flagged for that, so I can try something else, though.
Our ass is in the jackpot now, okay?
There we go.
All right, we'll just bring in Mom. Mom, how are you?
I'm doing good. Now, why we're getting flagged for AC/DC?
Because we're not allowed to run bumper music that carries over into the YouTube feed. They'll flag it for copyright.
Oh, for Lord's sake.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It is. It is.
It is very much ridiculous. Well, anyway, I'm doing all right. I appreciate you letting me do this a little bit early today.
Did you watch that garbage-ass game last night?
I did, and you know what? I was so mad when the game was over. I said, I can't believe I sat here and wasted 3 hours of my life watching this absolute garbage. That was one of the worst games I have ever seen.
Yeah, both teams sucked to high heaven, and it's good to see Russell Wilson just getting exposed as a clown, and he sounded like an ass after the game as well, so that was funny.
Oh, my Lord. I didn't watch it after the game. As soon as it was over, I couldn't even believe we went into overtime, for Lord's sake, to see all of that. 12-9, is that the most ridiculous thing ever?
Well, it's the two terrible teams right now, two terrible offenses anyhow. Yeah, but here's the problem. I think we both had Denver, right?
We did.
Yeah.
I had the Broncos. Yeah, I tell you, I didn't know if you did or not, but I definitely did.
Well, I flipped a coin in essence, and it landed on the wrong side because I don't like either team. I don't think either team's offense is worth watching right now. It's off. No. It's hard. I couldn't stomach it. I didn't bet the game, although all the voices in my head said take the under, take the under, take the under. These two teams couldn't score 40-plus points if they played for 8 quarters.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's just I just couldn't get over how they could not do anything. It was just ridiculous.
Hey, so really quickly, am I up 1 or 2?
You are up 2.
Okay. All right.
I see your mother's being honest here. I can't tell you exactly which 2 games that you won that I lost, but anyway, I know I have it on my sheet here that you are up 2.
One of them is that I took the Falcons and they won. Yeah, and I think that's what it was in one of those times. All right, here we go.
I know. Now, I tell you, there's a bunch of coin flip games this week, I think.
It's the NFL. The Giants at Green Bay.
I'm going to take Green Bay.
Pittsburgh at Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo.
Chargers at Cleveland.
Yeah, this game, I took the Chargers, but I think the Browns could win.
Chicago at Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Detroit at New England.
Yeah, now this game, you know what? I'm taking Detroit.
I'm going to take New England.
Okay, now wait, let me find that.
I have been a little bit more on Detroit's bandwagon than most, but I just don't trust their defense. It's so bad. I
know. I don't trust them either, but I think the Patriots are terrible.
No, they rose up and won last week.
They did, but now are they going to have their quarterback?
Zappe came in. Oh no, Zappe didn't win, and they lost in overtime at Green Bay.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, overtime at Green Bay is not a bad showing. So I took coin flip game. I'm taking New England. I don't know if they're going to have their quarterback. All their quarterbacks suck anyhow. Seattle at New Orleans.
That's a wonderful game, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly! I took New Orleans. I don't know why, but I did because I think Seattle's terrible as well. I know didn't they win last week barely?
Well, their offense has been extraordinary. They scored 48 points against your Lions last week, Mom.
Oh, did they? Oh, Lordy. Well, that was I don't know. That was a fluke. I'm telling you, it was a fluke.
I'm torn on this game.
What about famous Jameis there?
Is he even playing? Is he going to play? He's up in the air. It's 50-50. They don't know if he's going to play.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I think these are two bad teams, but I'll take
at home though. They're at New Orleans. It's kind of hard. That's a tough place to play.
Yeah, home field doesn't mean anything in the NFL. I'll take the Saints.
Okay, all right.
Miami at the Jets. Great game.
Great game.
It is.
Now, Miami, I do not believe has Tua.
Right, because he's still knocked silly.
Yeah. Oh, Lordy, that guy last night got knocked silly.
First 8 seconds of the game. Yes.
Yeah. Holy moly. I'm going to take Miami.
I'm going to take the Jets. There we go. Look at us.
I know.
I hope Miami wins, but I'm taking the Jets. All right, Atlanta at Tampa Bay.
I'm taking the Bucks. I think they're going to bounce back. I think they got to get their act together.
I'll take the Bucks as well. Tennessee at Washington.
Yeah, I'm taking Tennessee.
Me too. Houston at Jacksonville.
I took Jacksonville, believe it or not.
Yeah, they're winning games. They look good.
Yeah.
San Francisco at Carolina.
Yeah, I'm taking the 49ers.
Me too. Dallas at the Rams.
Yeah, now that's a game, I think. I don't know now. There's Dak Prescott. He's coming back. I think they need to let that rush guy stay in there.
Yeah, Cooper's starting the game. Dak's not playing in the game.
Oh, is that right? Okay, now then that might make a difference because I wasn't sure about that. I have the Rams written down here. I don't know. Oh, man, I'm torn. I'll stick with who I said. I said the Rams.
I'll take the Rams bounce back as well. Philadelphia at Arizona.
Philadelphia.
Yep. Cincinnati at Baltimore.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good game.
Should be fun.
I took Cincinnati.
I'm going to take Baltimore.
Okay.
And so we finally have a second game different. And then I'm going to take Kansas City. Who do you got? Raiders, Chiefs, yeah.
Oh, I got Kansas City.
Yeah. So just a couple different there this weekend, Mama.
We got three.
You're right. That's right. I said
New
two.
England, I got the Lions. You got the Jets. I got Miami. And then you got Baltimore. I got Cincy.
Let's go. Enjoy the funeral.
Oh, God. I know. No, that is not. That will not be enjoyable. But we might see a lot of Southside people there, which will be nice.
Well, go enjoy it. Talk them up. Ask them how they're doing. What a great occasion to see them.
I know. We will. All right. Well, listen. Now you guys are away this week, right?
We're at NC State on Saturday night.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll be watching.
All right, Mom. Love you.
All right. Love you. Have a good weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. I'm kidding. Obviously, the funeral's not a joyous occasion. It's not, though. It's not like one of their dear friends. So it's just one of those showing respect things. It's the right thing to do. That's why I knew we could joke about it. Like, I'm not saying, hey, Mom, enjoy your brother's funeral. That'd be bad. That would be a different kind of joke that wouldn't play. This is, she's probably like really genuinely pretty excited to go see some of the people that are going to be there. It's like a reunion from my middle school of the parents that used to go to the soccer.
Yep.
That's what it is. What are you going to do? All right. Anything stand out to you there? Any weird pick? Would you have taken Dallas? I saw the look on your face, really.
Yeah. It's a couple of reasons. Number one, the Rams can't block at all.
Mm-hmm.
Since Whitworth retired, they're screwed.
Well, it's great to see.
And it's a short week for the Rams as well. So you got
I'm
those two things.
enjoying the Rams falling on their face here, 2-2. One of the problems they had is that they never beat the 49ers for whatever reason. And then they got killed by the Bills, but they do have 2 wins sandwiched in between those 2 games. So I don't think it's all over for them. And Dallas isn't great.
They got a good front, though, defensively. So that's why. And Rush has been okay.
He's played pretty well, actually.
CeeDee Lamb likes him, that's for sure.
I'm just noting he's played quite well. It's not just like he's holding it down. He's playing pretty well. You think if Denver made a move at quarterback, the backup would play better right now than Russ is?
Ooh.
Who is the backup quarterback in Denver? Do we know?
We can look it up.
No, we can. I know I put you on the spot there. I apologize.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to look up that. If I know that Denver too deep, I've got a problem. That's okay. So I'm not embarrassed.
No, you shouldn't be. Here, I'm going to give it to you right now. I'm going to tell you right now who the backup is. It is Brett Rippon.
All right.
You know anything about Brett?
That he could probably execute that play on 4th and 1 better than Russell Wilson.
He's in his 3rd year. He's 6'2", 205. He's out of Boise State. He has completed 2 passes, or he's attempted 2 passes in his career. Yeah.
That's why I remember his name, because when Bachmeier came to town, that's all they were talking about.
Old Bachmeier just transferred.
He did.
Yeah. He lit our ass up.
Sure did. Second half especially.
Did anything he wanted. And he was a freshman.
Yeah.
In 150-degree heat.
Yes.
Didn't care.
All
so
these
I'm
things
just
are
going to
true.
do anything I want to do against you guys because you suck.
But with the Cooper Rush deal, whoever Dallas doesn't want next year, assuming Brady actually retires, go in the market for that player.
I think Brady's going to retire. My man is barely getting through the week.
You think he's going to retire? Or does this embolden him, what's going on in his personal world?
Just play forever,
what
screw
the
it.
Hell? I mean, I've got really good weapons. This is okay. The cap concerns for Tampa.
He's going to need that offensive line to get better.
It will.
Okay. No.
If he stays, it's going to.
I agreed, but I mean, they got to get that offensive line in place. That's really the only thing right now. That and Vita, I hate to think that you're the byproduct of other excellent defensive tackles around you since you've arrived, but I'm beginning to wonder.
No, he's not. But he also, I think, has shown the first few years of his career that if he wants to take a little time, he's going to take a little time, and that's not what you need right now.
Take a little time? You mean to try hard?
Yeah, I think.
Man.
I think sometimes
that's a weighty thing to throw at somebody. Like, we're just not going to try real hard early in the season.
I'm just saying, work habits wise, I haven't always been impressed by old Vita.
Well, he is
7,000
pounds.
Naturally gifted. Maybe this is a point in his career where he says, "Oh my God, it's not my natural ability anymore. I need to put in some damn work."
Yeah, I got to try.
Yeah,
that'd be good. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Football at El Jalisco, football at El Jalisco, what a combination. It's a great big celebration. It's football at El Jalisco. I can dig it. Who's playing? Oh, man, everybody. The ACC, the SEC, all the C's, and even the pros. The Bucks, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cowboys. Wow, far out. You bet, man. When the game is on, it's on at El Jalisco with incredible specials on everything from frosty cervezas to salty margaritas. Does Margarita know? Dios mío, not again. The best place to watch the game is El Jalisco. College, pros, Monday night, Thursday night, you name it, El Jalisco is football headquarters. And with 5 Tallahassee area locations, there's probably an El Jalisco right around the corner right now.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
This is Dr. James Ryan Finn.
And Dr. Shannon Lord.
We are the dynamic duo at Finn Chiropractic, where we seek to get to the cause of your problem.
Whether you have neck pain, back pain, headaches, or any joint stiffness,
we've developed the Phenomenal Health Exam with some high-tech ways to get to the cause.
Our Phenomenal Health Exam will give the answers you need.
Get in for the Phenomenal Health Evaluation.
Visit our website at finnchiro.com, FENNCHIRO.com.
Because your chiropractor loves you.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Hi, everybody. It's Ed Dean, Florida's #1 statewide radio talk show, now in Tallahassee afternoon drive from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on Real Talk 93.3 FM. Yes, highly entertaining, fast-paced, never boring. We always give you the story behind the story when you catch the Ed Dean radio show. And we are ready to go Tallahassee daily, 5 to 6 p.m. It's the Ed Dean radio show on Real Talk 93.3 FM WVFT.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orangetheory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orangetheory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orangetheory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orangetheory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
To Kirk Herbstreit, can there be a game that is so bad it becomes good?
Oh, man.
And Herbstreit said no, and then Al doubled down, at which point Herbstreit, my son would call him a tryhard at this point, said there's a lot of hard play going on out there still. Al let it sit. Did not agree. That is phenomenal. I don't know that I've heard, I can't say that, but very rarely have I ever heard a guy who is he is a legend. Al Michaels is probably why he felt like he could say it. I don't know that I've ever heard a play-by-play man say that the product that they're paid handsomely to broadcast stinks.
He does it subtly all the time. He's done it for the last 5 to 10 years.
But that's not subtly. That is saying this game sucks.
I know, but he'll talk about officials and, another whistle. That's fine. No, but we don't have anywhere to go. Like things like that. And Al is prissy. Al, I think, was offered a number that made him come back to the booth because he doesn't always want to be there. Even on Sunday night, he didn't always want to be there. You're like, Al, if you don't want to be here, go.
Yeah, but he's really good when he cares. I would just only say this, though. I think that it's fair in that situation to note that the game is dreadful.
Yeah.
Because, you don't want to insult the intelligence of your fans. You can't pretend that this is a great game and that there's drama just because it's a 3-point game going into, on the verge of going into overtime. You can't do that.
But it made me laugh when he went to Thursday because I was thinking to myself, there's no way they're going to give him a good schedule. And he would bellyache about Sunday, which always got the best schedule.
But if you are a broadcaster at the end of your career and you get paid handsomely to do Thursday night games, celebrate, sir, because that's golf Saturday and Sunday.
Sure.
And that's all he really wants to do.
The best part was, I don't know what point in the second half, I didn't watch one play of this game.
Well, he says it very late. He said, the quote was, can a game be so bad it becomes good? Herbstreit said no, and then went on to say it's look, they're playing really hard out there still, and there's just silence.
But when they show the masses of Denver fans leaving the game, with there's still plenty of action to go.
They can win the game and they still leave.
That is checkmate in the argument where they're done. They were done.
Oh, yeah. And I tell you, that's a fascinating situation because they just paid him $1 gazillion and his teammates clearly hate him.
Yeah, they
that is a problem.
There was a tweet that said, well, his dead cap money is only $27.5 million for 2026.
How great is that?
Uh-oh. Let's ride.
It's weird that he keeps doubling down on that and all the other weird stuff. Like he's losing it. He's having a nervous breakdown in front of us. You can't miss it. You can't help but watch it. It's unbelievable.
Or it may just be a normal breakdown for somebody who's got the tics. He said he heard the voice of God after throwing the interception to Malcolm Butler.
He said any number of crazy
The
ass
voice
things.
of God spoke to him on the field as he was going to shake hands after the game was over. He heard the voice. It would kill most mortals, but not this guy.
Yeah, I don't. I get that he's out there. We've been right on him 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Coming out in the draft, we wanted the Bucs to draft him because we thought he had a chance to be an elite quarterback and couldn't believe he fell to the 3rd round. And we were right. And then we said he's nuts. He's nuts. He's disingenuous. He's a fake.
He's
remember a fraud, at least in terms of who he is as a person.
The conversation in your corner studio. I said, there's something wrong with his eyes. His eyes? There's something wrong with his eyes,
Yeah,
man.
you were checking in there. Like, I started to wonder if you thought he was a serial killer.
Would it shock you? Have you
yes,
seen
it would shock me if you were a serial killer.
I don't know. Have you seen the TikTok of him and it's got the Dark Knight score in the background about have you seen my scars?
Yeah.
And he's talking about the Subway sub.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my
well, he's been made
God.
fun of for a million
It is legitimately scary. It is legitimately creepy. You go, oh man, that's somebody thought this up, but they didn't need much. They had the ingredients over there. They just put these two things together.
Every time he does a video where if he just it's hard to imagine that this is that lack of self-awareness that we talk about with people, right? We've all been in a room with people like that. When you make that video, if you're him, any video, especially the one holding the Subway sandwich or any of the others that he has made in the past, when you go back and watch it, alarm bells should go off. It should say to you, like, this isn't going to fly. I wasn't intending this. This is going to be made fun of. I need to do this better, or that maybe not just do the video at all, but whatever it might be. Like, yeah, you have to be aware of it, but he doesn't. In his mind, I'm fairly certain he believes it's a masterpiece. He thinks it's great. Are you going to post this?
You want to split this Subway sandwich? It is my signature sandwich. It's called the Danger Witch, and it's dangerously good. Be careful, though. It's spicy. You ever done anything dangerous? That is dangerous. I've done something like that, too.
That's well done.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, that guy was laughing his ass off. You know, whoever made that was just having a blast. Like, this is perfect.
You ever done something dangerous?
Like, this is nuts.
Be careful, though.
They're in the 9th. It's 2-1 Cleveland. 2 outs. 1 out to go for Cleveland and the Guardians to take game 1, a pitching masterpiece and a very quick game. And Director Matthew will not be able to pay attention to anything we're doing for the remainder of the show as that game has begun between Philadelphia and St. Louis. And I give a hearty let's go Phillies to you, sir. Let's go.
Yeah, I agree. Today we are banded together.
Yes.
Against the
Let's
Cardinals.
Go.
And then go do what you got to do in an Atlanta series. It's unlikely, but you can give it a shot. Why not?
Got asked this question a lot earlier in the show and didn't get an opportunity to answer it. I shall now. It does seem to me, as we bring it back to Florida State's game against NC State, that I think Jared Verse is going to be in good shape this weekend. I feel good about the pitch count, if you would, being much higher than last week. And he is a difference maker, and it has to. I mean, I hope he wreaks havoc because Lee was not wrong. NC State's tackles have not been good, and Verse is. So this could be a big moment. And
but what do you have to do? Stop the run up the gut.
Of course. And you and I keep talking about that, right? That is the whole thing. Just come on. Stop that run, get him behind the chains and unleash the beast. Pin the ears and let's see what happens. You can get to him, you can make plays. And that offense has gotten bogged down at several points early in the season where you're just watching empty possession after empty possession. Going, what is going on with NC State here? If they can't be physical between the tackles running the ball, it gets interesting in a hurry.
One thing they do a lot of, and it's not just against Clemson, they run a ton of trick plays and gadgets, which tells me that they don't love what they're seeing in practice. But one of their touchdowns against Texas Tech is a toss pass, right? And then they've got also a pick 6 in that game. That's how they get to the upper 20s is with a toss pass and a pick 6. And then against Clemson, they ran a ton of gadgets. I mean, I'm talking everything from jet sweeps to
right. Well, they knew they couldn't block
reverses and things like that. But what was interesting was they were kind of moving the ball in a couple of drives, and then they just can't help themselves. It was a lot like Adazio in 2014 here in Tallahassee in the rain. They had that game, and he just calls a gadget out of nowhere. It short-circuited a drive or two for NC State, so you have to be fully aware, and I'm sure they've repped it. I didn't see it at practice, but they have practices where we're not allowed to go see. You've got to be alert on a lot of different things, double passes, and, stay with your guy even if it looks like he's not going to be in the play, because you never know. It might come back to him.
I am curious to see how disciplined we are against this offense, and because of all of the evidence we have heading into the game of which you speak, where they have had to do that, that is in their weekly repertoire, is to break some out.
Yeah.
And so I'm really hoping that, obviously they watch film, so we know that that's going to be brought to their attention, but discipline is of paramount importance here. And I do believe that if you can, it's all predicated on if you can stop the run. You're right. If you stop the run between the tackles, you can win this game. If you don't, you will not win this game. You won't, because I think we're going to sputter a little bit unless we really unleash Jordan on offense. I don't think we're going to line up and run traditionally well. I don't believe that. I believe that Jordan's going to have to be the guy in this game, and he can be, and I hope he's healthy enough to be. That's the only thing I wonder about.
Yeah, what I feel better about as the week goes along is just this spot, and it's not necessarily talking about NC State between Wake and Clemson. That's just a tough sequence of events. Just road games.
The way they get focused for road games, the way they get up for road games.
It's a recent trend. They haven't always been good. Last time they were there, they were horrible up at NC State. We had dudes that were halfway in the end zone, and Bailey Hockman was going up and down the field on us.
That was troubling.
That is troubling, and we didn't look like we had a whole lot of fight. We know that part's already fixed. They do have a lot of fight, but the way they came into the Louisville game and the LSU game, which was at a neutral site, albeit on the road at Clemson and North Carolina, the Tar Heels last year. That's a trend of they've got some things working there. Florida was short-circuited, I think, a little bit by what we did in terms of amping them up, maybe a little bit too much. But then also Jordan gets hurt right out the gate, so, that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, we were physically inferior to Florida last year, and we fell for the bait, which was the taunting before the game and
which is all they had.
And that's all they had, and we fell for it, which was stupid. Revealed our immaturity, and it came back to haunt us. I don't think that's going to be a problem here at all. I really wish this was a noon game, much the way the North Carolina game was. Where it's quiet and everybody's just kind of meandering about. Next thing you know, they look up at the screen, they're down a couple scores. That would be nice. It's not. It'll be hostile. You can't give that an opportunity to avalanche.
I think that's the other reason that gadgets might be a big part of what NC State does tomorrow night, because it's their last stand. This is it. All of their goals are off the table if they lose.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be great to strip them of their dreams officially? It's already on rocky ground. If you're NC State and you're a realist, you know that in many ways, last week ended your season of dreams. You are not going to see Clemson lose twice in order to leapfrog them since they have the head-to-head. That ain't going to happen. So just lay down.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Might be some friendly fire with the bombs that they throw in the stands there.
I would think by now they would have graduated from that. They would have moved on from the piss bomb era, but I don't know. That's that place. That's those people. It's the flair. It's the fair in them. You can't take the fair out of them. That's what happens. Cotton candy. What are you going to do? It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Lincoln High School unveiled their new Lively Lincoln Automotive Training Center on Thursday. After partnering with Lively Technical College, the program was up and running after a little more than a year. There are currently 107 students in the dual enrollment program. Using the new automotive facility, students can gain hands-on experience and even gain certification once completed. Students can learn the ins and outs of cars, including how to change car oil, how to operate a lift, car tools, and more. One person died following an accident Thursday morning on County Road 268, just east of Glen Julia Road in Gadsden County. A pickup truck driven by a 38-year-old man of Bainbridge, Georgia, was driving westbound on County Road 268 and towing tandem farm trailers. A sedan driven by a 36-year-old woman of Gretna was traveling eastbound on County Road 268. For an unknown reason, the second farm trailer detached from the tow and entered the path of the sedan. The woman was unable to avoid it and struck the trailer head-on. She was pronounced deceased at the scene. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Mainly sunny skies and calm this afternoon with a high of 87. Northerly winds around 5 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies and quiet again tonight. Lows dip down to about 61. High of 87 tomorrow. Partly cloudy skies. Sunny skies and calm Sunday with daytime highs approaching 85. 87 Monday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 86.
Having AC issues? Get it fixed now before that summertime heat has you singing the sweaty blues. E&B Heating and Air new customer diagnostic special for just $49.95. We sell the best and fix the rest. Call E&B Heating and Air today at 850-848-0187.
Your next chance to win $1,000 is coming up at 3 p.m. Don't miss your chance to shake the 93.3 money tree and see what falls out. Planted by the law offices of Basic Brooks. Come back stronger with Basic Brooks.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true. But I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, Greg?
Do you know all the different ways that you can listen to Real Talk 93.3?
There are several.
So we've got realtalk93.com. You can go back and listen to all of our shows in the podcast section.
That's right. You can also listen on our app as well.
Search Real Talk 93.3 and look for the red microphone and download our app. Never go anywhere without us.
And, of course, you can always listen right on the radio.
Well, they are listening.
Are they?
If they're hearing this commercial, then they're listening.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I'm going to give you a little 5-minute window here. You got some time, guys. Ordinarily, we do it from the end of hour 1 into hour 2, but we had a difference in schedule today. So it will be in a moment. Time to play some Garnet and Gold trivia. And it's for Warchant.com members only. So if you haven't signed up, it's now just $10 for the annual. 10. Not a buck, but 10. $10. $10. Head to the Tribal Council and look up top for the trivia thread. You'll see it. It'll be posted shortly. First one to post the correct, it's posted now. I'm told it's posted now. First one to post the correct answer next hour, as in this hour, wins $25 to Garnet and Gold. So you're going to want to do that. That will be in about, 30 seconds or so. Maybe a minute and a half. Maybe I'm lying. I don't know. I've also got to do some other things, which is first tell you a couple things about a VIP fan experience from Bud Light at the FSU Florida game. Friday, November 25th, courtesy of Bud Light and Tri-Eagle Sales. All you got to do, text Bud Light Fan 22 to 855-297-9460 for a chance to win sideline passes, hospitality passes, 2 tickets to the game, plus Bud Light and FSU fan gear. That's Bud Light Fan 22 to 855-297-9460. Make your football season epic with Bud Light. You got to be 21 years of age or older to enter. For complete contest rules, just visit Tri-Eagle Sales. That's simple as that, right? Now we'll do the trivia. Are you excited about trivia, Tom?
I am. And if you refresh the page inside the Tribal Council, for those of you listening and watching, you will see it's up top. It's got a little yellow box to it saying important announcement. And that's where you'll find.
These guys are quick, man. Well, I delay asking the question because I know as soon as I do, it's like, ah! Old Fast Finger Freddy over there is just... quick.
People are impressive. You almost have to ask them weird stuff. Like in the 2011 Florida State-NC State game, how many yards did Florida State's quarterback throw for? Yeah,
where they have to go to actual box scores and look it up, and that takes time.
That's not your question. Folks.
That isn't the question. That's not the question at all. All right, here we go. Garnet and Gold trivia time, kiddos. Warchant members only, as I mentioned. Have to head to the Tribal Council right now. Post the correct answer on our trivia thread to win 25 smackaroos to Garnet and Gold. Here is today's question. What is FSU's record against NC State in the team's last 10 matchups? So the last 10 times we've played the Wolfpack, what is our record against them? What is FSU's record against NC State in the team's last 10 matchups? And I bet you in 3, 2...
Too late.
Somebody got it?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Folks are fast,
The
man.
first guy. Now, I think this is the first person to be the first answerer and get it correct.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He was ready for it. I think he sensed what that would be.
The dad guy was all over it.
Hey, dad guy, good job to you. The answer is 5-5. A sorry-ass 500 record against NC State over the last 10 for Florida State. I guess in a weird way, as down as we've been, 5-5 is not the end of the world, right? Florida State is 5-5 against NC State over the last 10. That is the proper answer. Dad guy gets it done. Congratulations to you.
FSU Todd or TOD there. That's what it feels like. 2-8. It feels more like 2-8, but
that's funny.
10 years does stretch back to the 2012 season, as we have not played the 2022 game yet.
Yeah, and we remember a whole bunch of ass beatings we delivered in that little window there of greatness, where we were very, very good, and then all of a sudden,
Nice job by Nolkev. I like his answer. It's not
Good
going to have
job.
any cash.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't. Yeah, you tried. He's efforting.
I gave him a like.
The dad guy noted, boom, I was at 4 of those losses. Dad guy won it, and then he's back in the chat. On fire.
He's not doing work today. He's got multiple tabs on with Warchant.
I've had a difficult time getting locked in on the show today, if I have to answer truthfully. I not the show, but work in general. It's a beautiful day. I'm really looking forward to the weekend. I'm excited about all that we have going on. We've got the pregame show, you and I, tomorrow that we'll do together leading up to that game. There you see it. The pregame show is at 7 o'clock, brought to you by Zaxby's, presented by Zaxby's. And then at 8 o'clock, the watch along, which I'm also doing with Tom for the first half at least. And I don't know, I've been asked this week, you guys have asked this, if we're winning, do I stay on? Perhaps. I don't know how it works. It did last time. Remember, Gene wouldn't come on because we were playing so well.
We've got it staffed.
We had to boot him.
Maybe I'd leave for a little bit. How about that? If you stay.
Something's going to happen. I don't know.
So I could put the second TV on, the Mets losing the second game against the Padres. Yeah?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to sit back and enjoy the second half of the game and not work it and have all of my emotions on display for the entirety of that. Yeah, but it would be a perfect day to be chilling out, and right now would be a perfect day to be on a deck somewhere.
It is. It's a little toastier today
than it has been, but right now, in the next hour, you know how it's going to be. It's going to get gorgeous.
Yeah, it turns.
Yeah, it
in
turns.
a good direction.
A little cool breeze will come in, and you're out on that porch, and you got playoff baseball on, and there's an ice cold beer in front of you. Perhaps maybe if let's say you're at one of your favorite establishments, and you've got the food of your choice, and having a good conversation, and you're talking about the game, and you're thinking about all the matchups, and you're betting some money, and you're just being an adult, man. You're having a good time. That could be our Friday in the next 30 minutes. It could happen. Except for it can't happen for me. I got to go to the airport. Oh, isn't that great?
To the airport.
Yeah, wife's coming home, so I've got to go pick up.
Say that with more energy.
I don't like driving to the airport.
Okay, all right. Well, she's coming home though. It's a net good.
I'm very excited to see her, but I'm just saying that I hate the airport. I hate driving out to the airport. It's in the middle of nowhere. It sucks. There's no good way to get to the airport. I hate it. And that's typically true of most airports in general.
Yeah. I'm trying to think from here.
It's
really
interstate right there.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it.
It's all nonsense.
Ouch.
Every time I drive to the airport, I'm like, God. But I don't know. What would I want? The airport downtown? I mean, it wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Well, you just want the airport to be better. If it gave you more direct flights. I want the airport
to give you some damn options instead of charging $1 gazillion to go nowhere. Yes, I'd like the airport to be better.
Atlanta, Dallas, Charlotte, Miami. That's it.
I am telling you, if I hate politics with every fiber of my being.
And DC. I think you get a couple DCs a week.
I like going to DC, but I hate politics. And so I can never, with a straight face, tell you that I was going to be a politician. But if I were, I'd run on the platform. I'm going to get you some damn flights. That's me, Jeff Cameron. He's going to get you some damn flights. Reasonable flights.
Best believe.
Best believe I'm going to get you some damn flights.
It's
That's
the picture of you in the rug,
Yeah.
and it says best believe.
I'm going to get you some flights. I would gear everything towards fixing this problem of the TLH airport. I would.
Yeah. Every one of your campaign events has flights of beer for free as well.
Well, they would be asking
supporters.
me other pertinent questions as it pertains to any other subject matter that people care about, that voters care about. I'd be like, let's circle back to the important issue here, which is cheaper flights and more of them at the Tallahassee airport. So please ask anything along those lines, because that is what I'm campaigning on. The rest of this is usually it's a distraction by most politicians. I'm just willing to tell you that all that stuff you worry about, like you pretend to care about and they pretend to care about, they don't, and they're not going to fix. They're going to promise that, but they don't care. So you know that and I know that. Let's get down to brass tacks. Let's get down to what really matters. Some damn flights out of this airport. It's the capital. You've got to be able to get in and out of the damn capital of the state. We look like a-holes.
Look, Gwen, you want to ask me a bunch of different questions. How about this noise? I'm falling asleep from all these other questions because there's only one question.
There's only one question that the voters in my district care to hear about right now, and that is, how are we going to go about the process of getting more flights for cheaper out of this airport, this useless-ass airport that we've been sitting idly by doing nothing about for years? And here I am to answer those questions, and you want to ask me about nonsense like roads. No, we're talking about the airport.
You want to talk about crime rate? I'll tell you what's a crime. 8 gates. We've got 8 gates.
And astronomical prices to fly anywhere.
We're going to lengthen that runway. We're going to make another side. They're going to call it a terminal, a second terminal in this airport. It'll be the best terminal.
Yeah.
Lots of flights, many gates.
It's the best gates. Yeah, I would go on and on and on about how many gates, how many flights. And people be like, this guy's getting down to it. This is why I like Jeff. He's not fooling around. He's real about this.
So many gates, your head will spin. You won't believe it.
Yeah. I would answer the question I wished was asked of me instead of the one that was every time, and it would always be diverting your attention back to the real problem in this city, and that is the inability to fly freely from city to city in this country. One, the sheer lack of flights, the ability to do so. I mean that quite literally. You cannot do it from this airport. And secondly, if you can, it's insane.
Well, they're
going to bend you over.
They will indiscriminately.
Oh,
but that's where everybody's got a story. Like there was one flight I had, direct flight to Dallas. That was, I think, 302. It's 302 round trip out of Tallahassee.
Yeah, it's a miracle. Yeah,
it was miraculous.
Yeah, because it's Dallas. You can get to Dallas.
It was 6 years ago, but I mean, it was peak time. It was the holiday season.
You know, I remember in the 90s, very briefly, you could make a flight down to Tampa. I forget what that cheap ass airline was called. It's out of business now.
Spirit.
There was Spirit, and there was another one too. They both
AirTran.
AirTran. That's right. That's the one. AirTran.
My sister used to get down there for the holidays on AirTran.
Oh, buddy, forget about it. AirTran was the best. Now your knees were at your throat, and you were standing there like this. I think this is the worst thing.
They had a lot of troubles too in the air. Those things were rickety.
Yeah, shaky, but they didn't crash. And I would get on an AirTran flight and fly down to Tampa for like $38. I was like, oh, here we go. I'll see you boys in Tampa in about an hour. I'll be right there. I gave my $38. I'm hopping on. It used to happen all the time, but then it went away.
And now we have to brag about the Suncoast extending an extra 20 miles, which helps.
So that you can drive.
Yeah, it helps, but, I'd rather fly.
Another problem is, and I'm going to leave this alone now because I've gotten on my soapbox here.
We're also a community program.
No, but you know what? The other problem is people leave this city to go to other real airports all around us.
And AirTran did crash. Live Spectator points that out. That did happen.
Not while I was there. No, it did. I'm not concerned about others' misfortune. I'm talking about me.
Now you are sounding like a politician. It's starting to scare me.
Live Spectator. If you dig into everybody's past, you'll find some things you don't like. Airlines crash. Trains derail. Are we just never going to have cheap flights again?
I think you've derailed your campaign. There is the counter advertisement. Flights crash all the time.
Yeah.
What airlines is Cameron bringing to Tallahassee?
Yeah, they just that's the commercial. The cheap ones where you can get on a damn flight and go somewhere. Hey, it's a very small percentage chance you're going to die. That's true of getting in the car. What are we talking about? You're never going to drive again? Right. Next question.
They won't use that, though, in the ad.
They should, yeah. Oh, of course, they'll cut it up. All right, let's get it together. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Physical stress on our bodies can take its toll as the years go by. Whether you're looking to get back into an old sport or just want to spend more time outdoors to explore all life has to offer in our beautiful city, the dedicated team at TOC is here for you every step of the way. You can trust TOC for all your orthopedic needs. And now, scheduling an appointment has never been easier. Just visit teamtoc.com and click schedule online. That's teamtoc.com.
If you're a business owner of any kind, you need advanced fire protection services. We are AFPS, and we provide high-quality life safety services throughout Northwest Florida, and we've been doing it since 1989, with offices now in Tallahassee. Fire sprinklers, fire alarms, fire extinguishers, hood suppression systems, and emergency exit lights. For all of your life safety equipment, we've got you covered 24/7. We are Advanced Fire Protection Services. For a free life safety system evaluation, visit WeSaveLives.com. That's WeSaveLives.com.
Football at El Jalisco, football at El Jalisco, what a combination. It's a great big celebration. It's football at El Jalisco. I can dig it. Who's playing? Oh, man, everybody. The ACC, the SEC, all the C's, and even the pros. The Bucks, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cowboys. Wow, far out. You bet, man. When the game is on, it's on at El Jalisco with incredible specials on everything from frosty cervezas to salty margaritas.
Does Margarita know?
Dios mío, not again. The best place to watch the game is El Jalisco. College, pros, Monday night, Thursday night, you name it, El Jalisco is football headquarters. And with 5 Tallahassee area locations, there's probably an El Jalisco right around the corner right now.
Whitten Glass has been taking care of families since 1945.
Experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best, like Whitten's top-of-the-line bath enclosures. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Whitten Glass, and they provide precise installation.
Whitten Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass. Online at whittenglass.com. Call 850-222-5781.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
He writes, we only have 6 gates at the dumpy Amarillo Airport. I like that he called it the dumpy Amarillo Airport. That's just brutal.
Must be like South Bend.
That's great. Take this whopping $9.99 and see if you can get me a direct, Senator Cameron. Woo! Thank you, Wilson. Thank you. You should do a documentary on it, Wilson. You are a talented film and picture taker and all that stuff. When Jeff becomes...
Wait, did you say he takes pictures?
Mm-hmm. A politician, does this become the wildly popular Tom Lang show? Feels like there would be a strobe light, a lot of shotgunning natties. I'm down.
Strobe light?
I don't know that you would need a strobe light.
Oh, this thing behind me?
Oh, that thing, yeah.
That's the curtain I emerged from, like I'm Larry Sanders.
What a great show that was. Yeah, so anyhow, I that's it. Sorry, about once every 3 years these days. It used to be more frequently. I used to go off on a diatribe about the airport on a regular basis. Now I try not to do it as often, but Tom goaded me into that. It is Libations Friday.
Yeah, it felt like it needed to be said again.
It's ridiculous. Do we look at Prize Picks here for a few seconds on our way out before I do some probables for these playoff games?
We certainly can. I need a winner badly. I'm 0 for the season, so look at these and laugh if you like, or maybe they're going to work.
You want to put up mine or yours first? We're going to put up yours?
We got yours.
That's mine. All right. So I went with your Mets, trying to help you out there, Tommy.
All right.
Took Max Scherzer to strike out more than 6, and I coupled it with Jordan Travis throwing for more than 228.5 yards. A 100% deposit match, promo code WARCHANT. If you're going to do Prize Picks, do it. Let's make it. Let's have some fun with it. Let's get rich. Woo!
Yeah, I don't even need to hit the bit for that. I like that Jordan number. I'm actually playing both sides of NC State here. Devin Leary's number is 240.5 passing yards. I don't know who he's throwing to other than Thayer Thomas.
I like that you went less. Okay, good.
So that's why at the bottom I'm going more on Thayer Thomas. Thayer could have maybe 92 yards receiving.
Maybe.
Where else is it going?
Maybe.
To get him at 250. So, and then Quinn Ewers tomorrow. I'm assuming he's starting the game. They've got him listed. If he doesn't, I already lose. But Oklahoma's in a bad way right now.
They sure are.
And Texas has somebody that is like the modern day Deshaun Jackson in college football, or Tyreek Hill. Can't be covered, deep shots. That offense will light it up, but I think it'll still be a close game.
All right. I like it. There they are. It's more about what you guys want to do. We're just showing you examples of what you could do, and either you like those picks or you don't. Whatever, man. You decide. They got so many options with Prize Picks, and I'm serious about that. That's what I like. You can mix and match this thing all day long. You can go get MLB, mix it with like home runs or total bases or whatever you like there. Then you can turn around and throw in a college football pick and mix it in with an NFL pick, mix it in with when the NBA starts or the NHL starts, you can throw that in there too. It is a lot of fun. If you spend a lot of time with it, and I actually do, if I'm making actual bets with this, I'm not willy-nilly this thing. But if you sit down, you can really exploit, I think, some numbers that maybe Prize Picks wasn't aware of. You can do horses for courses with golf. I do that all the time. And I'll take that and grab a guy's, a total number of strokes or something like that. So it's kind of fun that way. And then you can look at receiving yards. If you find a defense that's just a sieve the last 3 weeks against the pass, and you just find a game that really, even a game that's kind of off the radar a little bit, you can add it all up and make some good money. They give you great odds. So it's Prize Picks, and again, use the promo code WARCHANT. It matches up for 100% deposit match. All right, it's time for probables, if you would. Our friends at Tallulah. I had a little Kaya extract juice yesterday from Tallulah. Give me a little pick-me-up, buddy. A little pick-me-up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching probables?
Soon I'll be doing the floating. Get in there and talk to them about it. I'll be doing the floating very, very soon. All right, game's on now. Zach Wheeler, Jose Quintana, is that right? Phillies Cards. I got no score in that game in the third. All right. Mariners, Blue Jays, Luis Castillo, Alek Manoah, great game. Padres, Mets tonight, Yu Darvish, Max Scherzer, great game. Game earlier today, Shane Bieber was throwing darts, my friend. 2-1. They beat the Rays. McClanahan pitched well, lost. Them's the breaks, and that's it. That's all for the playoff games today. But it's glorious. Here we are. College football tonight, playoff baseball tonight, college football all day tomorrow, mixed with playoff baseball as well. We are set NFL Sunday. We are rolling Big River. That is a look at those that shall reside on the bottom. You were waiting on it. Is he going to do it? Is he going to do it? Is he going to say it? Yeah, I have to say it. Ryan, enjoy the Red River rivalry as both teams need a win desperately. I think Oklahoma's in trouble.
For you to say that is interesting.
Well, it doesn't look like they're going to have a starting quarterback or not a real one. So that is a bit of an issue there.
So were you okay on the Ewers over at 260 and change?
I think so.
He would have done that to Alabama if he didn't get hurt.
I don't know what. Come on, Mr. Venables. I thought you were a defensive whiz. What are we doing here?
They haven't lost 3 in a row since 98 or 99.
Well, they've given up nearly 100 points in the last 2 games total. I think it's like 90, whatever. I mean, that'll hurt your feelings. We get mad at our defensive coordinator around here, and everybody worships Brent Venables. Gave up almost 100 points over the last 2 games.
Well, I worship him because he left Clemson. Good.
And we thank him.
Whatever that special sauce was, probably good players. But yeah.
Helps. Good work out of you, sir. Good work, Director Matthew. And let's go, Noles. Let's get this thing done tomorrow. Pregame show, 7 o'clock. Is that right? Yes, sir. We'll do it up. Be good, everybody. Talk to you on Monday.